This episode is brought to you by Netflix. From the creator of Homeland, Claire Danes and Matthew Rhys star in the new Netflix series, The Beast in Me, as ruthless rivals whose shared darkness will set them on a collision course with fatal consequences. The Beast in Me is a riveting psychological cat and mouse story about guilt, justice, and doubt. You will not want to miss this. The Beast in Me is now playing only on Netflix.
Hello, and welcome to It's a Fandom Thing. I'm your host, Erin Marlowe, and each week I'm joined by a panel of guests to discuss all things fandom and pop culture, primarily from a female perspective. You'll find everything from fanfic, to cosplay, to Schitt's Creek, to Supernatural, and everything in between. So put on your favorite piece of fandom merch, set aside that fanfic that you're writing about your OTP, and sit back and enjoy this week's episode. Hello, and welcome to It's a Fandom Thing. I'm your host, Erin Marlowe, and we are continuing the celebration of me. The celebration of my birthday month, with a look at my future hubby, Colin Farrell. And joining me to finally discuss Colin, I've mentioned him a lot, but with the exception of a Patreon bonus episode that Carla and I recorded a couple years ago discussing the Banshees of Inisherin. So once again, you want to hear that, become a Patreon supporter today. Other than that, and me mentioning him, we have never covered anything else of his. I'm trying to remember. am I forgetting something? But I don't think we have. So shockingly enough, we're in our 6th year, coming up to our 6-year anniversary. And so we're finally covering Colin. And joining me, I said whoever signed up for this episode gets the distinct honor of being my maid of honor in our upcoming nuptials. Remember, everybody, I do know reality from not reality. Is Erin Amos. So I don't know why I said your last name. I never say your last name. But I'm going to say Erin A. So Erin A., my producer and my future maid of honor. Hello.
Hi, thank you so much. I cannot wait to fight your sister for this.
My sister's going to be mad that I'm marrying Colin, so it's okay.
You're going to have to fight each other first, and then whoever wins, I'll be their maid of honor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but she can marry Michael B. Jordan. That's who she
That's fair. You could have a double wedding. It'll be really fun.
There you go. Yes. And we determined last week that Indy, the dog, is going to be our ring bearer.
Yes. I love that. I think Indy and Fergie would be really good friends.
Fergie kind of hates Indy, but it could happen. It could be a love story, too. Maybe they fall in love.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Oh,
Indy and Fergie.
I love it.
Because Fergie will be the flower girl. But anyway, back to reality and not the dream world. So we are going to discuss the career of Colin Farrell. This will not just be an episode of gushing. Well, it will be, but not gushing in the way of just looks-wise at all. But I do want to get... Erin A's that's what you think.
It will be mentioned. I'll just warn you.
Oh, it'll definitely be mentioned by me. Come on. I'm staring at the IMDb, and I don't know if anybody's looked at his IMDb profile. There's tons of videos that keep playing, but his IMDb picture, I don't know why. I just really like it. So, yeah. But let me give you a little bit from IMDb, a little bit of a biography. So, Colin Farrell was born on May 31st, 1976. So, he is a Gemini. Fun fact about me that our listeners may not know. I always have had crushes on, dated, fallen in love with Geminis. I am not even joking.
Oh, okay.
Say that.
There you go.
See?
It's meant to be.
Gemini, Sagittarius. It's just kind of there's something about that combination that just, it's fire and air. So.
Love that.
So yeah, just a fun little fact there. But Colin Farrell is one of Ireland's biggest stars in Hollywood and abroad. I hate that opening line. Let me just say. His film presence has been filled with memorable roles that range from an inwardly tortured hitman to an adventurous explorer, a determined but failing writer, and the greatest military leader in history.
Wow. Okay.
Who wrote this? He was born in Castleknock, Dublin, Ireland, to Rita and Eamon. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing my future in-laws' names wrong. His father and uncle were both professional athletes, and briefly it looked like Farrell would follow in their footsteps. Farrell auditioned for a part in the Irish boy band Boyzone. Yeah. But it was unsuccessful, okay? After dropping out of the Gaiety School of Acting, Farrell was cast in Ballykissangel, a BBC television drama. Ballykissangel, how many times am I going to have to say that, was not his first on-screen role, though. Farrell had previously been in The War Zone, directed by Tim Roth, and had appeared in the independent film Drinking Crude. Farrell would soon move on to bigger and better things. Sorry, this line. This IMDb profile. I'm not going to read the whole thing, don't worry.
I love the drama of whoever wrote this. Like, way to keep it exciting.
I know. Exchanging his thick Dublin accent for a light Texas drawl, Farrell acted in The Gritty Tigerland, directed by Joel Schumacher. The film portrays a group of new recruits being trained for the war in Vietnam. I shouldn't say that all happily, but hey. The film was praised by critics but made little money at the box office. It was Farrell's first big role on film and certainly not his last. What a stupid line. Farrell followed up with American Outlaws, where he played the notorious outlaw Jesse James with Scott Conn, son of legendary actor James Conn, in the role of Cole Younger. He also went on to co-star in the film Heart's War with Bruce Willis. Also, of course, in Steven Spielberg's film Minority Report, where he did strike gold. That was kind of, I think, where everybody took notice of him, was in that movie. He continued his success with Phone Booth, also The Recruit, Daredevil, which was kind of like a failing in a way, a box office fail. But, he also was in the remake of SWAT. He's been in tons and tons of things. His first, though, like, big notice as far as like critically acclaim was Moore's work in Bruges in 2008. And that's his most praised work. And he was nominated for a Golden Globe. Should have been nominated for an Oscar. And, he went on and did a bunch of other things. Sorry, I'm skipping around here.
There's just so much. Like, he's like...
It's like paragraph after...
It's so great.
Paragraph. He also starred in The Lobster and The Killing of a Sacred Deer, both directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. I watched The Killing of a Sacred Deer for the first time. I know you watched The Lobster. I'd already watched that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a fan of that movie, so I didn't watch it again.
Yeah, it was weird. I could only do one of his movies, so that's the one I chose.
The Killing of a Sacred Deer is a wow. Okay. And it's funny because except for, and you would have heard it on our special pop culture episode, but except for Begonia and pretty much Poor Things, I'm not really a Yorgos Lanthimos fan. So I don't know. It's like it's a very weird, odd movie, but Barry Keoghan was in that, who of course was also in the Banshees of Inisherin, but that came out before that. So it's interesting watching them in a different movie together. And Barry Keoghan is doing like an American accent. So that was interesting too. But yeah, he was also nominated for a Golden Globe for The Lobster. This isn't go past that time. So whoever wrote this went, I don't want to revisit this and edit it. So, because of course he was also in Banshees of Inisherin, which he received an Oscar nomination for. He has been in the Batman playing the Penguin, and then of course there is the Penguin series on HBO. Lots of things. He's in a movie this year. He's been in 2 movies this year. A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, which is supposed to be dreadful. I did not get to see it.
Oh, but I hate that. I want to see it.
I've heard nothing but bad things about it. And Ballad of a Small Player, which actually has a lower score on IMDb than that one. And
really?
Yeah, Ballad of a Small Time Player, which I haven't been able to see.
I didn't think it was that bad. It was okay.
I guess I don't know. I mean, it's gotten mixed things, but I actually did not get a chance to watch that because I didn't realize it was on Netflix yet. I'm a bad future wifey. I apologize. But that, of course, was done by the same person who did Conclave. So, which is interesting. Anyway, so that's a little mini biography of Colin Farrell. Thanks for joining us. See you later.
A+, all those movies. We're done.
We're done. Goodbye. So no, what I first want to know, just like when we were talking about Mr. Ryan Gosling, is so Erin A, what was the first Colin Farrell movie or role or performance that made you notice him?
Okay, honestly, I know Daredevil is not a great movie and that most people don't like it, but he is literally like the only thing that I remember about that movie. I don't think I've seen it since it came out in the theaters. And literally I have such like vivid like pictures in my mind of him as Bullseye, and like certain shots I can just like still picture. And so I think that says, I don't know, something about his acting that I don't know. I promise you, this movie came out in 2023 or 2003. I mean, and I don't think I've seen it in 20 years, probably.
Yeah.
So, but like, I remember thinking it wasn't that bad of a movie, but apparently everybody hated it. Or maybe that's because it had this amazing Irish man in it who was allowed to use his actual accent.
Yeah.
Which I take issue with whenever they don't let him use his accent, because his voice is incredible.
It is.
Right?
I agree. Of course.
But I think I really do remember like so specifically seeing him in Daredevil. And then when In Bruges came out, 5 years after that, thinking that's the guy. And then after that, kind of like, yeah, okay, I will watch literally anything that Colin Farrell is in. Sign me up. And In Bruges is still one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, mine too. I'm sure it's going to come up here soon.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'll also mention, we had a couple of also shout outs for a few other movies and roles that he was in. So I'll be mentioning some of those coming up too. For me, it was Minority Report because I did take notice of him. So that was a long time ago. And at the job I had at that time, my coworker was like obsessed with him. And I wasn't. I was just kind of like, well, he's a good actor. But honestly, I was not like I am now with him. But like literally her screensaver on her computer was Colin Farrell.
Oh, that's a great idea. Do you think I'd get in trouble at work?
She didn't. So, and it was like, I think it was like a shirtless Colin Farrell or something. And then like she was like so obsessed with him. So I will be honest, even though I took notice of him in Minority Report, I was kind of annoyed with my coworker. So it was one of those things where I'm like, it's probably the way people are with me, with him now, where I was just like, okay, I get it. You like Colin Farrell. But it wasn't until actually this movie that I think is the most underrated movie of his, one of his, at least as far as his earlier work. And that's the movie A Home at the End of the World. And I'll be talking about it more later, but I watched that, and that was what turned me into a fan of his as an actor. And I was so impressed with his role in that, and I'll get into more of it later. I'll save that. But it kind of made me go, oh, so this guy can do more than playing the snarky, smarmy playboy type, which is what I think he was kind of pigeonholed into for a while there. And so it was nice to see him in that movie kind of break out of that. So that's what made me become a bigger fan of his. And then I just think he's just so incredibly talented. I really do. I'm going like, yes, I think he's incredibly gorgeous, but I think he is just such a good actor. He's so talented. And that makes him more attractive, frankly. But yeah. Okay, so Erin, what is it about Colin Farrell as an actor that makes you a fan then?
Specifically?
You giggled.
I can't help myself.
That was cute.
Obviously, like, I'm sorry, Finn, but Colin's perfect hair. He has such good hair. But just like, first of all, yes, like he's gorgeous. I don't know how he's getting better looking as he gets older. He's 49 years old, and how, like, it's criminal that you should still look this good. I am such a sucker for an Irish accent, though, so that's probably part of it. I really get very annoyed whenever he's in things that especially his American accent, I don't like. I'll deal with it. It's fine, I guess. But uh, obviously, he's a good actor and he can do accents. That's fine. I just appreciate his normal voice. I will say, I did watch Ballad of a Small Player, and he does this like fake, like fancy English accent, and it's actually worse than his American accent. It's it's so bad. It's not great. So fair warning when you watch that, prepare yourself. It's so bad. Oh my God, I can't. And he's like a I don't shyster kind of guy, like a scammer kind of thing. So that's what he's trying to be, like fancy aristocrat scamming people. So he's laying it on thick, but still, oh my goodness, it's bad. But him personally, he just seems like a really good person. First of all, aside from his acting skills, he just seems like the nicest guy, like someone you would want to hang out with, right? He doesn't seem like the type of person to like show up on set, sit in his trailer, do his job, and not talk to anybody. Like everyone just kind of is drawn to him. He seems like, you want to hang out. He seems fun. He seems like he's a good dad. He's got 2 sons. Mm-hmm. He started a foundation in honor of one of his sons. There's an interview from People magazine from last year where he talks about that, and just like watching how much love he has for his kids is just incredible, and how he got sober. He's been sober for over 20 years so that he can be the best father for his children. And it's just incredible. He's like so grateful for everything that he has and that he's able to provide for his children. And just in any kind of interviews or anything that I've seen with him, he's just like so still, even after being, in this business for 20, 25 years, he's so like grateful and in awe of everything, really. Like mm-hmm. he talks so lovely about the people he works with and his directors and things like that, about how he's just so not jaded by anything. Like everything just seems really like magical to him, and he just loves life. And I think that's really special, especially after being in Hollywood for so long. I do love that he also has like a wide variety of roles that he plays. I don't know if it's like a conscious effort or just everyone's offering him everything because he's amazing, but can do like literally anything. Serious things, period pieces. He's like really great in period pieces, which are not my most favorite mm-hmm. thing. And I love that so many of his roles have like sci-fi and fantasy elements to them, which I think, I don't know. I am imagining that probably has something to do with, he said that he was inspired to be an actor by watching E.T. And that kind of has that same sort of like sci-fi undertones to like this family movie. And that is my favorite genre, is like sci-fi fantasy stuff. So I love that he's kind of like into that stuff too. But just like, it's incredible. He can do anything. We'll get into my favorites of his, but one of my favorites is like a sci-fi thing. That's not like the major part of the story, but he does it so well.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think for the acting side, I think he's like a character actor, and character actors are actors that can play basically anybody, and they disappear into the role. And he is not afraid to be, much like Ryan Gosling, he's not afraid to appear ugly. And by that, I mean, I'm not talking about looks necessarily. I just mean he's not afraid to do awful things, or to not necessarily be the best person, or he's not afraid to play morally ambiguous characters. And he's not afraid of how that will reflect on him as a person. And he also is not consumed with the fact that, I mean, I know he knows he is attractive. There's no way he doesn't know he's attractive. But he's not afraid to not look attractive as well. And he's also not a selfish actor. So he's very much there for his scene partners. He elevates other people, but I think he also grows from other people that he acts alongside. And I think he just truly loves performing and loves acting so much. And I think he realizes how blessed he is to do this. And I think that is reflected in his performances. And also a thing, I think you can tell if an actor is somebody that is a good actor, but also is somebody that a person wants on set when they work with the same directors over and over again. And he has. There's quite a few directors he's done more than one movie with, sometimes more than that. You know, Martin McDonagh, of course, who did In Bruges and The Banshees of Inisherin. He also did Seven Psychopaths and other things with him. So it's like he is somebody who you can gather from that is somebody that people want on sets, want to work with. And I don't know if that was always the case with him. He's been very open recently about when he made Minority Report, and that was around his birthday. And he was like a quote unquote nobody at that time. And this is a Tom Cruise movie. And Tom Cruise got really angry with him because he was like, I want some time off for my birthday so I can basically, because he was a partier. He was a party boy. He was a playboy. He was known for that. He was known for drinking all the time and, you know, chain smoker, all of that stuff. And he has been very upfront about that. And he's been very upfront about the fact that on this film, he basically was like, I want to get these days off. And he's like, how egotistical of me, this young person who's never been, to be like, I need to get some days off for my birthday so I can basically go get hammered, is basically what ended up happening. And he showed up to work and he was not in the best shape. And Tom Cruise was not happy about it. And I mean, Tom Cruise has his issues, but I just think it just kind of shows a little bit, it shows character that he's learned from his mistakes and he's grown and changed. And I really think it was having children just really completely changed him. And I always find it so attractive when men very visibly and obviously love being dads and love their children so much. And he very, very clearly and visibly does. And it's beautiful to watch. And it makes him, I think, a better actor in a way, too. I think some of the roles he's chosen and when he's played a dad and everything like that. And he definitely disappears into his roles, and not just by makeup, but he disappears into them and becomes the character. And he's been doing that for decades now. And I'll talk about one of those again when we do our top 3 performances after the break. And then I also just want to point out, I think, you know, when he won the Golden Globe for his work on the Penguin television show, he thanked craft services. I cannot think of a single other actor that has gotten up on stage, and please correct me if I'm wrong, and thanked craft services. That is like, to me, that speaks volumes to who you are as a person. If you go up there as an actor and you are, you know, it takes a village to make a movie. And if you're going to thank people in craft services that help fuel you for the day and nobody thanks them, that to me was one of the most beautiful things to see, because that shows that you are a good person in my book. That shows that that's why you get invited by the same directors, the same people to work again and again, because you are thanking craft services. You're not taking it lightly how many people it takes to make that movie or that show go off without a hitch. So I will always appreciate that about him. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of him as a person and him as an actor. And it makes it a lot easier to be fans of actors that are good people or appear to be good people off camera. He's also so emotional, so emotional. And I really love that about him. I think that's very endearing as well.
Yeah, I watched that interview and he's talking about watching his son's first steps and he's like crying, and it's like, oh, that's so sweet. And it's like, 15 years ago, and he's still so emotional about it. Like, he seems like he would be a really awesome dad to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And he's worked hard to get to that point. 20 years sobriety is huge. That's a lot. So especially in that industry.
Yeah.
That takes a lot. So yeah, good for him. And especially with being Irish too. And I don't mean that as to stereotype, but they drink a lot. They just do.
That's kind of like part of their culture, really. Like just going to the pub is just a thing. And so, the dedication and how open he is with it, being honest with everybody about it is also really special. Not a lot of people can talk so freely about stuff like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to do the dreaded 3. We're going to discuss 3 of our favorite Colin Farrell performances. So we'll be right back. Okay, Erin, I know you hate me. Everybody always hates me. But it is time for the dreaded 3. So what are 3 of your favorite Colin Farrell performances?
Oh, man. Okay, can I do 2 shout outs and 3? I'm just going to say their name and then I won't elaborate, okay? I'm going to shout out to Fright Night and shout out to Winter's Tale because I know that was a terrible movie and nobody liked it, but I like it and it's a comfort movie, okay? Go watch it. It's a cute love story and it's cheesy and I love it. Anyway, I gotta say In Bruges, it's such a good movie. I remember like seeing it in the movie theaters. I remember my husband and I were like obsessed with how good this movie was. Like it's a favorite in our house. We'll still watch it on occasion. So gotta go with like classic. On the newer side of things, The Penguin, I think, is just incredible. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it because I know you finally watched it.
I did.
And I'm so excited to hear what you think about it. But it's just, you don't even know that it's Colin in this role. It's so incredible the way he has all these prosthetics on and he can still have such like emotion and like bring so much onto the screen and you don't even recognize him. It's not his face. It's not his voice. Like, it's just so great. And that is an acceptable, not Irish accent for him because it's like the cartoon version of a guy, right? And I heard an interview of like how grateful he was to just have this role and the way he appreciates it is just so sweet. And how he talks about like being a little kid and watching like Batman cartoons and how honored he was to be part of this legacy, I think is really cool of him. But it's such a good show and he does an incredible job in that and in the Batman. Unfortunately, it seems like there's not going to be a second season of The Penguin. I'm pretty sure he's going to be in the Batman too.
Yeah. But
he didn't rule out a second season, but he said he like didn't want to, ruin the magic of the first. And that's totally understandable. I get that because there was something really magic about that. The way it, like, I don't think anybody expected like a silly little DC show to blow up like that, but it wasn't about Batman. It was about him and all of this, I don't know, leading up to the movie. But I think, it's such a good show. If anybody hasn't watched it, like you don't have to be a Batman fan to watch this show. It's completely not about that. It's so good. Shout out, I did get to see the suit that he wore in the Penguin at Comic-Con at San Diego Comic-Con 2 years ago in I think it was 2024. It was behind glass. I didn't get to touch it, but I was so close to it. It was the suit he actually wore on set. It was great. So that was special. It was hard to take a picture of because it was behind glass, but I tried so hard. I digress. The third one is also a newer one. It's the show on Apple TV called Sugar. And I'm torn because it is like his weird American accent.
I was going to say, you keep choosing his American accent.
I know. I can't but he's such a good actor that it doesn't matter, right? Like, I'll watch interviews and I'll hear his accent. It's fine. But he's just such a good actor. I can overlook and he admits that he's not good at an American accent. Why do they keep making him do it? But I really like this show. I think they just wrapped up filming the second season and I can't wait for it to come out. And this is another one that has kind of like elements of sci-fi things that I like. I don't think that's a spoiler anymore because it's been out for like 2 years. But like this character kind of reminds me of him. Like he's in kind of like Hollywood. He's appreciating all of these old movies is like interspersed in the show. Also, shout out to a cute dog in that show. There's the most adorable dog. he's in a lot of movies and shows with dogs, which I love. Banshees of Inisherin, also an adorable dog. But I think Sugar's a fantastic show. It kind of seemed like after the first season, it looked like there was going to be nowhere to go, but I'm so glad they're doing a second season. I don't know how long it'll be on, but I think it's really great. Kind of like a mystery. Some of it's kind of filmed like black and white noir kind of private detective stuff, and I think it's just really cool the way it's filmed, and some of the, I don't know how to, just mystery elements to it, I guess. When he drives around in like this topless Corvette and he just looks so cool wearing like his black suit, and I don't know, it's just a cool show. I like it. So those are kind of like my favorites, but there's 25 more things I could tell you about, and I'll stop talking.
Yeah, and that's another Apple TV show, so you never know about these Apple TV shows.
Shout out to Apple TV for not advertising anything ever.
I know, oh my gosh. It's amazing.
Why are you like this, Apple?
I know. I don't get why they are so bad at that. You would think of all of the streamers, they'd be one of the best at it, honestly.
They just put like all their money towards Severance and advertising Severance, and they don't care about anything else. And there's so many good shows.
But they don't even like it because they advertise Severance, but at the same time, they don't. Like, they advertise like for a little bit and then they forget about things, or they don't, they also spent some time advertising the morning show. But it's just like, I'm not really, I watched the first couple of seasons and I'm like, why am I watching this? And that got renewed for another season. I'm like, how long is this fucking show going to go?
That show's like a train wreck. I can't stop watching it, but it's like not great. It's dumb, but I can't stop watching it. It's why, the same reason I can't stop watching Grey's Anatomy. It's so stupid, but I can't stop watching it. Someone stop me, please. But like, come on, Apple, you have like all the money in the world. And like Apple makes the coolest soundtracks, I assume, because they have access to all the music. And like the soundtracks for these shows are incredible. And then they're just like, we don't care if 12 people watch it. It's fine.
I know, they're so bad. They're just, Prime is just as bad as them too. Prime, though, the other thing that's worse about Prime, and this will be the last I'll say, but is their interface. Their user interface is the worst in the world. It's so awful. I hate it. It's awful. It's so hard to find anything. And anyway, I'll just mention really quickly with In Bruges, which also shout out to Carla. Carla also said that was the one that really made her a fan of Colin Farrell. And so I won't say much about that since you've already talked about that. So that's definitely on my list. Maybe I'll do an alternate one then, since you mentioned that one. So In Bruges would definitely make my list normally, but since you mentioned it, I'm going to do a different one. But I am going to shout out Banshees of Inisherin because I really do love that movie, and I love him in that movie. And he does something with his eyes. His eyes are so expressive, period. But he's so emotional in that movie, and he's not necessarily a great person in that movie. But it's such an interesting character study, and a study of someone who is like basically hasn't grown up, like hasn't become an adult in a way. He's kind of stuck being kind of a man child. But I love watching him in that. And of course, you also have a donkey in there. You don't just have a dog, but you also have a donkey. I know. I know it's very sad, but what happens to the donkey? But I loved that donkey. And I know when we were in Ireland, we met a donkey on the side of the road, and the donkey had like a dog on its back. And I'm like, oh, it's the donkey from it. It's not the donkey from the movie, but you're like, it's the donkey from the movie. But I just think he does such a great job, and I think he deserved to win the Oscar. I'm sorry. I know everybody was glad that Brendan Fraser won. I hate the movie The Whale, so I was not. But I love Brendan Fraser. It's not an insult to him. It's just that movie. And I just thought Colin Farrell was so much better in Banshees of Inisherin. I think he did incredible work, incredible vulnerability, watching a man feel like he's losing a friend and realizing that maybe that person wasn't his friend ever, and how hard and hurtful that must be. And then also, I always think it's interesting to watch people who are, in recovery and he's been in recovery for, 20 years, but watching them play characters that are also struggling with addiction. And even though it's kind of lightly brought up, but there is an element to his character in that movie dealing with alcohol and trying to avoid alcohol and trying to avoid consuming alcohol. And I just thought that was an interesting thing to watch and an interesting thing to add to the character. And I often wonder, I know he was in a safe space and he trusts everybody, but what that's like and the emotional vulnerability and the emotional places you'd have to go to kind of play a character that has struggled with some of the same demons that you have. So I love that movie and I love his performance. And once again, you can hear me and Carla talk like in depth about that. We go really, really deep into that movie for our Patreon subscribers. So you can become a Patreon subscriber and you can get that episode. I'll go ahead and I'll mention The Penguin and just talk about that then, even though that was already been mentioned. So I did watch The Penguin finally. And this was, when this show was announced, I have to be honest, I was like, ugh. That was my reaction. Ugh. Because I was like, this is stupid. And it's not, I have such fatigue about superhero movies. I have such fatigue about them, especially Marvel. So this was a little bit better. I love Batman is my favorite superhero. I know, but I don't care. He's my favorite superhero, always has been. And I liked the Batman, except for I hate that version of Bruce Wayne with a burning passion. I hate Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne is vile to me. I can't stand him, his little whiny Bruce Wayne.
Way too emo.
Oh my God. It doesn't work for me. But I thought he was great as Batman. And I thought Colin Farrell was great as the Penguin in the movie, but I was just kind of like, why do we need this? We don't need this. When I heard it announced, I was not at all excited. I had people like messaging me about it. I'm like, yeah, I don't really care. And then everybody kept saying, no, you got to check it out. And I did. And I have to say, if you don't like comic book movies, that's fine. This is not a comic book movie in the sense of what you might be expecting. It really is like driven by character and by the evolution and the origin story of a villain, but not in a way like the Joker origin story or stuff like that. And Christian Milioti is so also fantastic in this movie. She is so fucking good. She is so good. Yeah. Everybody's good in this. And I really enjoyed this. This is, if you like mobster stories too, this would be something that you would really like. Because it's very much like that. It's very much focused on that. Also, mental illness and how we treat that and mental health. And there's a little bit also, I think, of gender dynamics and gender roles and stuff. And I really was surprised, even though everybody kept saying, you're going to like this, you're going to like this. I was surprised I enjoyed it because I was not excited when it was announced. I just wasn't. I just was like, okay, there's no point to this. But it surprised me with how good it was. So, yeah, if you haven't watched it, definitely watch it. There's a reason it was nominated for so many awards. So, yeah, and there's a reason it won so many awards. So, definitely check that one out on HBO Max. And then lastly, and this is my absolute number one, well, In Bruges is tied with it, but performance from him. And it's from a movie called Home at the End of the World. And this is a movie where he does have an American accent. But I think he does it fine. I don't think there's any issues at all with it. I don't have issues with his American accent, so I prefer his normal, but this is a character, Bobby, that I can't really describe accurately without you seeing the movie. This is a character that goes through so much trauma, but somehow remains this beautiful, amazing, oh God, this character that basically his whole core is love. And it's one of the first kind of, and they don't really say it in the movie, but it's an interesting exploration of someone who I think is pansexual, but they don't ever come out with that. They kind of hint more at bisexual, but I would even think pansexual with this character. But it's this very different kind of role for Colin because he's this very innocent person. He's at one end, he's very open and loving because the movie takes place in different decades. It starts in the 60s, 70s area, and then it goes to the 80s. And, he is very like into like, getting high and music. And he's very like, peace, love, all that stuff, even in the 80s. But he's also very innocent at the same time. And it's just such a fascinating role for him because, you're not used to with Colin Farrell, I don't think. You're not used to seeing him in a role playing a man like this, a man who is so innocent and not naive, but just pure in a way. And I don't mean that in like this weird purity way. I just mean like he's got such a pure heart and a pure soul. And I always want people to watch this movie because this movie is so underrated to me. And it really is the movie that made me a huge fan of his because oh my God, he's so beautiful in this movie. It always makes me want to cry just thinking about how beautiful he is in this movie, his character and some of his lines. I will say, Erin, with the bad hair, with the good hair, he has a really awful wig for part of this movie. So
oh no,
if you've never watched that, just prepare. But
bad accent and bad wig.
It's not a bad accent. It's not a bad accent at all.
Okay,
he's fantastic in this movie.
Okay, good.
I know that. Like I said in the beginning, not a bad accent. But I'm just warning you, but he gets rid of that hair pretty quickly and then he has really nice hair. But I just highly recommend it. It's great. Also for people who are fans of it, also has Dallas Roberts and Robin Wright in it. And then also, what is his name? Sorry, I'm trying to get to the name of the people that played the younger versions of them. Sissy Spacek's also in it. So there's also another actor, Eric Smith, that plays the younger version of Bobby. And Dallas Roberts plays like Bobby's best friend, but he's also kind of in love with him, Jonathan. And Jonathan, the younger version of Jonathan, is played by Harris Allen. And if you're Queer as Folk fans, Harris Allen was, of course, on Queer as Folk. And on Queer as Folk, of course, he played Hunter, who is the kid that Michael and Ben adopt. So just a little throwing that out there because I know a lot of people that listen to us are Queer as Folk fans. So just as another little, maybe, I don't know, way to kind of make people watch it. I just want everybody to watch this movie so bad. If I was just to say you can watch 3 Colin Farrell movies, I would pick In Bruges, A Home at the End of the World, and Banshees of Inisherin. Or maybe actually Phone Booth too, just for fun, just to throw in a fun little one. But I would definitely say In Bruges and A Home at the End of the World are the 2 like essential Colin Farrell movies, I think, for sure. So those are my 3. I do want to quickly just go over ones that have gotten shout outs. So Jill, who has been on episodes in the past here, but hasn't been on a while, shouted out Phone Booth. Evelyn shouted out American Outlaws. Adrian shouted out from Talking Like a Teen podcast, shouted out Minority Report, although also he was like, oh, dang, just one. I can't just choose just one. I understand. We are in the same pickle here about that.
No. I can't even choose 3 or 5.
And then, of course, like I said, Carla shouted out In Bruges, which I know a lot of people, we've been talking about it. So we will talk about that movie at some point, probably as a Patreon episode. And then I just want to say Kim, who from Big Reputations Pod, in our Discord. So go join our Discord server. It's an actor thing. She shared a picture of Colin with Elmo and on Sesame Street from this morning, and he's wearing this hat, and he needs to wear more hats. It's adorable. It's absolutely an adorable picture. So shout out for that too. So yeah.
I got to find that segment because I need to see him hanging out with Elmo. I bet it's adorable.
I agree. Yes, I want to find that too. Okay, well, we're going to take another quick break. And when we come back, we have said, he's done so much, like so much. But I just want to know if there's like a dream role or a dream project. So we'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by Rakuten. The holidays are here, and that means it's the most wonderful time of the year to save with Rakuten. Use Rakuten to stack cash back at your favorite stores on top of holiday sales. That's savings on savings. With Rakuten, you can get cash back on gifts for everyone on your list, from toys for the kids to kitchen gear for the person who loves to cook to electronics for everyone. You can even save on something for yourself. Cashback is automatically added to your account as you shop. And you can get paid with gift cards, PayPal, or check. Or eligible American Express card members can choose to earn membership rewards points. Join for free today and get a new member bonus after minimum qualifying purchases. Just go to Rakuten.com, download the app, or install the browser extension. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, so Erin, what do you have a dream role or some project you would like to see Colin do that he hasn't done already?
Okay, yes. And people are going to roll their eyes at me. So I'll stay first. I think he should do more romantic things, not necessarily rom-coms, but just more softer things, because I love him in that. But hear me out. There's never been an Irish doctor in Doctor Who.
I should have known this is what you were going to say.
Okay, but he would be so perfect because he's so good at playing grumpy dude, right? He would be just and he delivers the sarcastic one-liners so good, and he can talk really fast, like the Doctor likes to do. I feel like he could be really big and animated. I think he would be so good. And I know this is never going to happen, but hey, there's all of Doctor Who is up in the air right now. So I'm just going to throw that out there. BBC, listen. He's been on BBC shows before. He got his big break on BBC Northern Ireland. I think he would be really entertaining in the TARDIS, running around, talking super fast, being a bit sarcastic and kind of rude to people. In Bruges Meets Doctor Who, I think would be just hilarious. I mean, not the assassin part, sort of, but I think he could be really fun. I picture sort of the Peter Capaldi was just this grumpy old man that I think he could do that. Not that he's as old as Peter Capaldi, but the Doctor is very old and very experienced and kind of not here for it sometimes. And I think that's my favorite versions of the Doctor. I like the current Doctor. I don't know. There is no current Doctor right now. It's killing me. But I think it would be so good and it would be really fun. And I could see him having a lot of fun in time and space. So that's my dream. But more realistically, I'd like to see him in more romance stuff. Sci-fi romance is my favorite.
I should have known that's what you would pick. But hey, it's whatever you want.
Now that I think about it, it's I can't stop thinking about it now. He would be so good.
I was almost going to jokingly say, because they do so much stunt casting, even though it's the show that owns me, I was jokingly going to say he should do a guest spot on The Bear.
Yes!
That would be amazing. I'd love to
Oh my God, yeah. He would, oh my God, he would be
do a
such
Chicago
a good
accent.
Oh, no, he'd have to have his own accent. He could be an undercover food critic and just come in and just get in massive fights with Richie. I think it would be so good.
Aw, Richie.
Love it. I could picture that too. We'll just write him roles and then surely something will work out.
Surely one of these will happen.
We're here for you, Colin. We got you.
Well, mine is, I had two, roaming in my head. And I think actually the one I would go with, because if you don't know, Colin Farrell used to teach line dancing. If you didn't know that about him.
No, I love that.
Yeah. So I would love, and especially since he auditioned for a boy band, I don't know how his singing chops are. I would love to see him in a musical. I just think it'd be fun where he would have to dance too. And I think he could pull it off. Just imagine him doing that. I mean, just imagine him in I was imagining Darker with playing the Phantom and if they were to do that again, which they probably wouldn't, but something like that. But also something light and fun. And it could be a romance. It could be a love story. But I just think it would be so much fun to see him in a musical and to see him do that, because I think like I said, I haven't watched it, but I think in A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, he does a dance number in that.
Mm-hmm, yeah, I saw that in the preview. So, okay, you have to go watch Ballad of a Small Player tonight, because he does dance at the end credit scenes. And there's this scene of him doing the robot, and it's hilarious. They do a whole bunch of dances, but yes, he does dance. I love it. That's great.
Well, and if you haven't watched After Yang, which I highly recommend that's in my little short list of best performances from him. I really, that movie is so good. And in the beginning opening credits are like a dance thing. And so he does a dance thing in that too. A little bit different, but it's really good. But yeah, I'd love to see him do like a musical, just something like that, just to see him have a lot of fun and do something really physical like that. And then I would just be curious to see if he singing and stuff like that, to see him do that. And I think he'd probably really love to do it. I think he'd have a blast doing it. So I would really, really, really want to see that. And then also that guest spot on the bear.
Yes.
I just want all my favorites to just pop up on the bear. Even though I've said they need to stop doing stunt casting. But I would be fine if
a musical episode of The Bear.
Oh my God.
He could be in the musical episode of The Bear. Could you imagine?
Oh my God.
Everyone's doing musical episodes. It's like it's the thing, right? They got to do it eventually. Oh, it would be so great. He could be in that.
I'm just picturing Richie out in the main area serving people while doing some kind of song.
I don't know. I just had like a vision of like a Beauty and the Beast when they're serving food. Like Richie is Lumiere.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Be our guest.
This is what we need.
Yeah.
This is what the people want. Come on.
Chris Stoyer, are you listening? That would be so weird. That would be the weirdest show to do a musical episode on. I just want to say that would be bizarre.
It would be so weird. It would be. You think it would be as bad as the musical episode of Scrubs, which was really bad, right? I hated that episode.
Like that show.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's good. That episode's terrible.
Well, we were supposed to cover Scrubs a couple years ago. And I was watching it, and then like a couple of people that were supposed to be on didn't like it. I mean, didn't like it, but couldn't come on anymore. So we ended up switching what we were doing. But I admitted to everybody, I'm like, just so you know, I'm not liking this show. Like it was the first time I'd watched it, and I was like, I just want to be open and honest because everybody on there is like, this is one of my favorite comedies, and I'm like, and I think that might have been part of the reason people were like, I'm not available anymore.
I don't want to fight you. That's just not.
Which I understand. I was also like, I'll just be quiet the whole time and let everybody else talk about it. But yeah, I mean, they do. And of course, he was on Scrubs. So
yeah. One episode, right? One episode. Nice.
Farrell. But I'm just picturing the bear as doing a musical episode. That would just be so flippin' bizarre. I mean, we do know now that Jeremy Allen White can sing, so you'd have that. But I don't know if anybody else in that cast can sing. I'm sure some of them can. I'm trying to think. Anyway, well, no, they do karaoke all the time, I think. I think Iowa Debre can sing. So, I don't know. That would be so weird. Oh, my God. Anyway, okay.
I digress so far. I got us totally off track.
It's okay. I can bring anything. I can bring anything and everything back to the bear right now. So, we'll see if that ever changes. Probably not anytime soon. So if you are needing ideas for what to do, Colin, because I'm sure you do. I'm sure you need ideas of what your next role is. Hopefully this gives you some inspiration that, if you want to be in Doctor Who, if it's always been your dream, there you go. And then you can also do a musical. There. We have designed your career for you.
Solved all the problems. We filled all the holes in your resume.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, it is time to play 6 Degrees of Finn Wittrock. And Finn Wittrock and Colin Farrell have been in a movie together, Winter's Tale. So that is excluded. You cannot just go, well, they were in a movie together. You have to do a different way. So, Erin, you're looking a little guilty. Or am I just reading too much into it?
No, I just was thinking because I rewatched Winter's Tale the other day because I love it and I haven't seen it in a couple years. And like it didn't register with me that Finn was in that. And then I was like, oh my God. And then he has one line and it's like, oh, poor baby Finn. It's so old. And it's like probably one of the first things he was in, I bet. But so yeah, no, I didn't even read that far down on the outline yet. And I was like, yep, I will not be using that. I'm looking guilty because I left my sheet that I wrote down in the other room. So I'm going to do it by memory.
Okay. Ooh, that's cool.
Okay, I did Colin and Brendan Gleeson, who I think are fantastic together. In Bruges, Banshees of Inisherin, I don't know what else, but I think they're like just the best duo.
Agree.
Brendan was in a show called State of the Union with Rosamund Pike. Rosamund Pike was in Saltburn with Jacob Elordi. And Jacob Elordi was in the snail propaganda movie, Deep Water.
I forgot he was in that. You could have also done Rosamund Pike was in Gone Girl.
Yeah.
With Ben Affleck.
Yeah. There's a lot of overlap with them. I think it's something else from someone else from Saltburn too. I don't remember, but I had to go with our favorite movie.
Yes, the snail propaganda. You can still get It's a Snail thing in a Redbubble store.
Oh, I love it.
The snail propaganda movie.
Shockingly, the most bizarre thing about that movie was the snails.
Yes. And Jacob Elordi, just to let everybody know, is so good in Frankenstein as the monster, or they also refer to him as the creature. He is so good. Like, I have never really been a big fan of his. He's done nothing for me. Like, I haven't really gotten the hype. I got the hype in this. He's so good. Like, so good. Because I was choosing between two movies for a pop culture episode. And so I didn't get to mention that. So I'm just going to say that really quickly. I enjoyed it. I think it's overly long. I think it works better when it is focused on the creature or the monster and not on Victor Frankenstein as much. I mean, some of that's good, but I just preferred the stuff with the monster. And he is so good. Like, he deserves an Academy Award nomination. He's so flippin' fantastic. Like, I was blown away. One of my favorite performances of the year, honestly. So
that's awesome. That's in my list. I can't wait to watch that probably this weekend. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's still
I'm
playing.
such a sucker for Oscar Isaac too. So
yeah, I know that's why most people want to watch it, and he's good in it. He does. I'm not in the same Oscar Isaac or group as everybody. Excuse me, but he was good. But for me, it was just when you're getting into the stuff with the creature and the monster. It was just like what the movie to. That's when the movie really started to gel for me. Was that so? Yeah, but I recommend if you can see it on a big screen, if you can see it in a movie theater, because I know it's streaming on Netflix, but if you can see it in a movie theater because it's still playing, I recommend that because it's a movie that is meant to be seen on a big screen, I think. So if you're able to, I saw it on a big screen on Halloween, and I don't know, I think it just added something to it. So yeah. Anyway, okay, so I went with Robin Wright, who was in A Home at the End of the World. And Robin Wright was in the movie What Just Happened with Lily Rabe, who, of course, has been in a lot of things with Finn. But I chose Downtown Owl, which we also did a review of the year it came out. And two people liked it and two of us didn't like it. It was an interesting discussion. So I'm not going to tell you who, because it was Moth, Erin, me, and then my podcast brain twin, Jen. So two of us liked it, two of us didn't.
That was fun.
It was a good conversation, though. Unlike when we did the snail propaganda movie and none of us liked it. So.
General consensus.
Yeah. Oh, Finn. And also go tune in to our Finn Whitrock birthday trivia, because I don't know if you've watched it, Erin, because unfortunately we weren't able to be there. But what I did when people missed a question is I gave the points to Erin.
I appreciate that so much. We were there in spirit. We were stuck at work, but we were there in spirit. I love it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Erin A, for joining me to talk about Colin Farrell. And thank you for agreeing to be my maid of honor for our wedding TBD.
Thank you. I will start writing my speech now.
Thank you. I am expecting that we are going to get married in Ireland.
Destination wedding, obviously, yeah.
So, Erin A, tell everybody where they can find you.
I am mostly on Instagram now. I am at Geek and Sew. That's what I do. I geek and I sew things. Shout out if you're in the Denver area. I will be at a small craft market. This is going to come out on Friday. So on Saturday, November 15th, I'll be at a craft market if you want to come buy some of my crafty things. It's at the Table Public House, which is an adorable little coffee shop in Denver. So stop by if you feel like saying hi.
Awesome. Yay. I'll see what my schedule is like and I'll try and drop by. It depends on what's going on.
I've got earrings and sarcastic home decor embroidery stuff. It's fun.
Cool. Yay. Yes, definitely check it out. If you are local, if you're not, you can fly out.
Yeah.
Book a trip.
Yes. Yeah. Or you can, there's pictures on my Instagram of kind of some in progress stuff. So at least you can see the crafty things.
Cool. And Fergie was mentioned, Fergie the dog, who will be the flower girl at our wedding. And then she will meet Indy, and that'll be a love story there.
That's Indy's second movie.
Indy and Fergie. But she does love horror movies. So she loves Fright Night is her favorite Colin Farrell movie because, she loves horror. And she also loves true crime. She loves Abbott Elementary. She's excited that it's back. You can follow her on TikTok at Schroeder and Fergs. That's SCHROEDERANDFERGS. It's long, but it's worth it. To find all our past episodes, to find links to our Redbubble where you can get the snail propaganda merch, head on over to our website. It's a fandomthingpod.com. And while you're there, consider becoming a Patreon supporter today. For as little as $3 a month, you get ad-free episodes. You get episodes a day early. And you get bonus episodes. Like, I'm not sure who it's going to be, but we're going to be doing a bonus episode in November of either a Ryan Gosling movie or a Colin Farrell movie. My Patreon supporters are supposed to decide. I don't know if Erin has voted yet. You better hurry up and vote now because that poll is closed by this time. But also, like I mentioned before, the Banshees of Inisherin. We also are going to have a ton, we've had other bonus episodes on there. We give away prizes occasionally. So yeah, for as little as $3 a month, you can support the show. You can be in a higher tier of people that I love.
Premium friendship.
Premium friendship, yes. So click the link in the show notes or go to the Support Us tab on our website, which once again is it'safandomthingpod.com. And next week, Tiff will be joining me to discuss, yes, this is a total turn. I know everybody's going to be shocked that this is what we're discussing, but we are discussing the 1995 Academy Award nominated film, Babe. Yes, the one with the pig. Babe.
I love it so much.
Yes, this movie, I was obsessed with this movie when it came out. I worked at Blockbuster at the time, and when it was on video, I made everybody so annoyed and sick of the movie because I would put it in the little child area. I would play it in there when it was my shift constantly until people said, we cannot watch this movie again. So, yes. So Tiff will be joining me for that one. And then after that, the following week, Carla will be back to talk about one of my all-time favorite books, Dean Koontz's Odd Thomas. And then also sprinkled in there, it'll be a surprise when it drops, is another bonus episode that my Patreon subscribers already got to hear. And that is Carla and I spending basically almost 2 hours talking about Sid and Carmi from The Bear. So we're talking about them as a ship because I had no one to ship Sid and Carmi with as far as discussing that ship. And so I kind of drug Carla along. She is it really wasn't that hard. And I got Carla to watch the show and I got her to jump aboard this ship with me. So it's a fun conversation. Spoilers galore for The Bear, but that'll be dropping sometime this month as well. So keep your ear out for that. So until next time, remember, it's a fandom thing. Black Lives Matter, stop Asian hate, and free Palestine.